There we go. Move this out of the way. Go ahead and get started. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for attending our Jumpstart session talking about a tech deep dive and troubleshooting. This is session 2 of our Jumpstart series. This is a series that we do at the beginning of every semester, where this gives students the opportunity to learn more different resources and tips and tricks on how to succeed as a student. My name is Dallas Wallington. I'm the coordinator for the online student experience. Basically what I do is I help students like this. I help students ranging from having tech issues or just wanting some general advice about classes or anything like that. I'm also a success coach, so if you ever have any questions, you could just schedule an appointment with me on Navigate, or you can just reach out to me through email. All right. You don't have to unmute yourself. You can drop it in the chat if you prefer. But just a check-in. How was your first week back to school? I mean, we're officially almost at the end of week 2 of the spring semester. So just wanted to check in to see how you're doing.
My first week's been good. I'm getting used to grad school right now.
Oh, okay. So which program are you in?
MBA, the specialization in HR.
Oh, okay, okay. Is this your first year or?
Yes, this is my first year.
Congrats. I hope it's going well. I graduated with my master's. Oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 years. With my master's in 2024 from UNT. And I've been loving it ever since. And now I work for them.
So,
Yeah. All right, so just a general overview about the online student experience, who we are, what we do. We offer peer mentoring, which coincidentally our peer mentoring signups close this Sunday. So if you're interested, you can just check out our website. This is basically one-on-one interactions where you get to meet up with your peer mentor once a month, all virtual, just to check in how you're doing and asking if you have any tips or just whatever you're ranging about. It could be academic, could be professional. And then online student success coaching, like I mentioned earlier, we are staff members who are here to kind of help you through the process, and it's all more of a one-off thing if you need to just drop in and ask a couple questions. And then community events, we do workshops like this, but we also do more of the fun events like Discord game night, movie nights, and things like that. That's typically held through our Discord channel. And then we also have our own honor cord program. So if you are interested in participating in this completely free, all you have to do is register in the Online Student Experience Canvas course, which is also located on our website. And all you have to do is earn 100 points to get a free honor cord. And it's pretty easy to get those 100 points. It may sound like a lot, but even for attending an event like this automatically gets you 20 points towards your honor cord. So if you're interested, go ahead and register so you can get credit for this. And then just a general overview of what we'll be talking about today. We'll be navigating online tools, so looking at some of the main platforms that UNT uses, going into troubleshooting common tech issues, and then UNT resources that are pretty helpful if you're not sure who to talk to about specific tech questions. All right, again, you can unmute yourself or you can just drop in the chat, but which online platforms do you find yourself using the most? It could be Canvas, Zoom, with your MBA program, it could be any other potential platforms, but which ones do you find yourself using the most?
I would say I'd use Canvas a lot and anything Google, so like Sheets, Docs, anything like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sure with the sheets, that's definitely one that you're going to be utilizing a lot. I
Yes.
know with me, when I was in grad school, of course, Canvas always had it. Um, but one thing that was interesting that I never had to use before was something called MyLab. And so I had to utilize it for my educational statistics class. So it's basically like my own statistics calendar available on my computer. It took some getting used to, but it's just really nice and convenient, especially since UNT offers stuff like that for free. So we don't have to purchase it ourselves. So definitely recommend looking into MyLab for different platforms, especially if you get into like more of a mathematical statistics class. they'll probably likely recommend you to check that out as well. All right, so going into a bit what we're going to be focusing on, your online learning tech system. So, of course, as an online student or a student who may take some online courses, your campus exists entirely through your screen. That means that your learning experience depends on a few key platforms working together. So here are the main platforms that we're going to be covering, including Canvas, Zoom/Teams, and general browser and computer tips. So we're going to review each platform and discuss common issues that students run into, and you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions while we review. So if you ever have a question, you can just drop in the chat or you just unmute it. Or you can just save it to the end if you prefer. Either way works. All right. So you mentioned that Canvas is definitely one of the ones you use most often. And so what I have listed here are a lot of common issues that people run into when they're utilizing Canvas. So we have um, the first one, which is can't see a course or assignment. If a course isn't visible yet, it may not be published or it might not officially started yet. I know once we got toward the beginning of the semester, I did have a lot of students reaching out saying that they couldn't see their Canvas course, but that's often because instructors usually wait till the first day of classes to actually open up their course, or they may even wait until the first official day of that course in particular to open it. So I typically recommend people wait a day or two after the first day of classes. And then, of course, if you're unable to see it, reach out to your instructor. Another common issue is assignments won't submit. This is often a file type, file size, or browser issue. So whenever you're trying to submit an assignment through Canvas, typically it'll tell you which file types are accepted. So like uncommon types, like maybe if you're trying to do like a PDF, it only accepts a Word document, then definitely look into that. Hi, Shannon. Nice to see you again.
Hello.
You're just in time. We were getting ready to start about like some of the main
Okay, I'm here.
platforms. I'm glad to have you back. We missed you.
I know. I am always like, oh shoot, I missed it, or yes, been busy. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so I'll be covering some things. If you have any questions, you can either drop in the chat or unmute yourself. All right, so going into the next common issue is grades or feedback are missing. Grades may typically be hidden until everyone submits it. It does depend on the instructor's discretion, or feedback may be attached as a comment or a file, which is a little trickier to find, especially when they leave it as a comment. And then just some general troubleshooting steps, just whenever you want something quick. So always refresh the page, see if that works. Do the whole log out, log back into Canvas. Sometimes even clearing your browser cache or using incognito window helps as well. If you're unsure of how to clear your browser cache, it does depend on which browser you're using. So typically you have to go into your settings. Whenever you go into settings, there's an option to search a particular item within settings. So I usually just type in browser cache or just cache, and it'll give you an option to clear it. Then using incognito window actually helps sometimes because our computer may be used to like logging in a certain way or whatever the case may be. So just using incognito window does help. And then sometimes even switching browsers. I know a lot of people like to use like Microsoft Edge, but I typically prefer Chrome works. Chrome works best for me. And I know that Chrome typically works best for a lot of like educational courses and things like that. But you can also use Firefox. So worst comes to worst, just switch your browser and see if that helps. And then, of course, lastly, take a screenshot if there's an error message as well. Um, because if you're able to take a screenshot, then you can send it to your professor or send it for, tech help or whatever. Because the key is like if you get to notify your instructor as soon as possible to be like, hey, I'm having issues. I'm not ignoring anything. I'm just having trouble getting in. Just having strong communication is the biggest thing. And then I always say screenshots are also your best friend. They protect you, and then you can typically get help faster. Going into Zoom/Teams, most instructors usually use Zoom whenever they're doing sort of like face instructions, but some also use Teams. Like I prefer to use Teams just because um, I'm able to transcribe things easily. I'm also able to use a whiteboard option in case I want to have some interactive material, but mostly people will be using Zoom. So for common issues like the camera or mic's not working, I can't join a meeting, or I'm getting kicked out, here are a couple quick fixes to look into. You can check the browser or app permissions because sometimes if this is your first time downloading Zoom onto your computer or downloading Teams into your computer, it may ask for specific permissions. So you just need to go in into your app permissions and see what's allowed. Then, of course, testing audio and video before class. Whenever you sign into Teams or Zoom, it'll always say like, okay, do you want to test your video? Do you want to test your sound? Always recommend doing that. And then, of course, I do the old turn it off, turn it back on thing, just restarting the app or the browser, because it may be something as simple as that. And then maybe using the browser version if the app fails. So if you're using like the Teams app or using the Zoom app, and for whatever reason it's not working, pulling it up in a browser like Chrome or Firefox and logging into the like Teams or Zoom from there could also help as well. And also keep in mind, most audio and camera issues usually come down to app permissions. So your computer won't use your mic or camera unless you allow it. So keeping those things in mind. And then browser and computer tips. The biggest thing, because you're fully online or you're mostly online, your device and internet connection matter more than you may realize. So here are some tips I always recommend students keep in mind. So using a laptop or a desktop whenever possible. You know, you may think that would be the obvious, but of course, there's plenty of times where someone may try to log in through their tablet or their phone, and it's just not working the same. Because typically, a laptop or a desktop um, it built better for things like that. So you have to keep that in mind. And then keeping your browser and operating system updated. So making sure that, if you have like a little icon in the corner of your browser that says you need to update it, but also do it in a timely manner because we've always been in those situations where we try to update something 5 minutes before a meeting, and then it takes 10 minutes to actually finish updating. So to keep that in mind, and then same with applications as well. And then save work frequently and use cloud storage. 100%, especially since we're getting it, I don't know how it is where you guys live, especially getting into us where we're getting into winter storm season and power, we may lose power and things like that. So making sure that you have auto save or frequently saving your work to make sure that you don't lose anything, because that's the last thing we want you to worry about. And then just using cloud storage like Microsoft and Google, just so it also helps in automatically saving those things as well. And then lastly, have a backup plan, so an alternative Wi-Fi location if possible. Because again, if it's a situation like, where we're getting ready to have a winter storm, obviously you may not have a backup location. But if you have the means and you're able to having a backup location, like checking out your local library, that's always an option. Worst comes to worst, going to a coffee shop and borrowing their Wi-Fi. And then if you live in an apartment complex and they have some sort of lobby area, they typically have Wi-Fi there. So just thinking of backups in case for whatever reason you're unable to access your Wi-Fi or internet from your current space. But then keeping in mind, just internet issues happen. We're human. It even happens for instructors often. So what really matters is communicating early and as soon as possible. If you experience tech issues, reach out to your instructor as soon as you can, because we're human. They're humans. They recognize that these things happen. So just reaching out is the biggest thing. Now, the parts that are going to be so helpful, I always recommend students to do. So these are UNT tech support resources that we offer to all students, staff, faculty, whoever. And I'm going to go over each of their websites and show what different resources and options you have available through there. So I'm going to be touching on the UNT Help Desk, the UNT Tech Support Hub, and the UNT Library. We love them. All right, so going in first is the UNT Help Desk. So again, you can always Google these things, but I'll also share this presentation with you guys afterwards, so you just have it on hand. So with the UNT Help Desk, this is for very much general assistance. It's through UNT Denton, Frisco, faculty, staff, retirees, alumni, and visitors, whoever. This is basically here to help everyone. And this is more for helping like password resets, new accounts, wireless email, or other computing problems. So there are different ways if you, for whatever reason, you're having issues and you tried everything to try to get into Canvas or a certain platform or application. If it's not timely, you can submit a ticket. So you just go through there. And this is also where having, screenshots is always helpful, because if you take a screenshot of what's happening, they can better service you. So you log in with your UNT student ID and provide all the information. I'm obviously not going to sign in right here because that might take a second. Um, if it's a little timely, but you have a little, leeway, you can also do chat with a technician, where they have a live chat where you can just do here and you don't have to log in as well. And then they also have a phone number. So if there's something that's actually a little more immediate and you need like immediate assistance on, you can also call them. Their current hours are between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. on Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday, and 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So even if you're working on an assignment or something on the weekend, they do have availability as well. And they also have frequently asked questions, because sometimes this may be something that's a little easier to figure out. Kind of like what I mentioned with the common issues with Canvas and Zoom. Like they even have one here for Canvas for distance learning. It's really helpful with online students, and also has a bit of information about the lockdown browser as well. So I absolutely recommend this website. It is awesome, very helpful. It's also nice because it does provide updates, and if there's any sort of outages or issues with the websites or platforms, excuse me, currently we have none. And then if you guys haven't heard already, UNT has an app called UNT Go. It says coming soon, but it now exists. It's basically an easier way to kind of keep a lot of your UNT information things in one app. So you can view Canvas grades, navigate campus maps, stay up to date with campus events, and see your class schedule as well. And then it does also provide any additional information if there's going to be updates. For example, it's saying that May 11th, there's going to be a new authentication platform for Canvas. So it just has additional information there. And some other things that typically happen, like VPN. And then here's their information down there. You can also just email them, helpdesk@unt.edu, or you can call them. They also have a physical office on campus if you are local, but these are typically the easiest ways, very general. The next one is UNT Tech Support Hub. So they have, let me go back so you can kind of see. They have tech support ranging from a lot of people. So we have faculty and staff, UNT Wi-Fi, student support, and automatic submit help requests. So just in the general student support, they have a support area dedicated for you guys. So there it is again, submit help request, learn more about UNT Wi-Fi. And so this is more of like catering towards what UNT students often deal with and experience. So they have the tech support phone numbers. They also have their hours. The only day that they are closed is Sunday, but they are open every other day of the week. Just keep in mind which day it is, because it may vary on what time they're open till. They mostly focus on Canvas, Zoom, and software downloads. So with Canvas, here are the common issues that you may run into. Canvas login, student guide, lock-in browser, but it does also have things like connecting to your Eagle Connect email, frequently asked questions, OneDrive, Teams, so on and so forth. Zoom, they have general ones, but they also have general IT services as well. This includes account management, because sometimes whenever we're trying to sign into our student account, it may ask a million and one questions before you actually get into your account. So this is also helpful in case you have any issues with that. And then with any particular software downloads that you're more than likely going to use at some point, of course, Microsoft Office, we always use that, Zoom. Um, and then our lockdown browser and antivirus statistics software. Like I mentioned earlier, this was something that I had to use during my experience as a grad student at UNT. So I absolutely reached out to them and said, I don't know how to work this software and I don't know how to download it. So they're really helpful in helping me through that process. And then remote software access as well. What's a good thing about being a UNT student, especially an online student, is whenever you need access to certain platforms or things that are only available to UNT computers, you're able to pull something up called MyLab. I mentioned that a little earlier. MyLab has various software and platforms that you can basically what you're doing is whenever you sign into your computer and you sign into MyLab, it basically acts as if this is a UNT computer. So it provides you with access to more softwares and platforms compared to if you were just, on a regular computer. So always recommend doing this. Very similar with UNT Help Desk. You can submit a request or you can call them. They also have an email as well, the AITS-admin-help desk. But of course, if you need immediate assistance, calling them. But just keep in mind, if you do run into issues, take a screenshot, provide as much information as possible, and the technician will be able to better assist you. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. All right, going into our favorite, UNT library. Um, there's like libraries aren't just for books, obviously. They offer tech access, research help, and online support as well. And the UNT librarians are always happy to help, especially even if you're not necessarily looking for, any tech issues or support in particular, they're also really helpful in case you're trying to find particular research about a topic and you're not sure how to get there or where to look. They also have various topic and specialty librarians that you can reach out to, and they're always happy to help. And then just in general, like quickly, you can chat with them. So it's easy. You pull up out here to chat with us. You can also call them, or you can even text them. Really helpful. They have a toll-free option, or if you have a little bit more time, you can also email them. So you can either fill out this form down here, or you can directly email them at askus@unt.edu. And here is the information I was talking about earlier about subject librarians if you have more specific questions about particular research and subjects. Yeah, even if you have problems accessing the form, there you go. And then here's all their information down here as well. We love the UNT library. Sharon says, I definitely know. All right, so those are the three main ones. Definitely recommend saving these somewhere, especially if you are predominantly online or work with a lot of online platforms and softwares, because this is really going to help you. Because of course, as an online student, you may feel that you may not have that particular support, or I don't know who to go to about this and this. Don't worry, we got you. We have something for everyone. And so that's the overarching thing. But just keeping in mind, remember, we're humans, life happens, tech happens, and you may not be familiar with it, but just keeping these three things in mind. You are not expecting to fix everything alone. There's a reason why we have support staff. We have plenty of people who want to help on campus, whether it's virtual or in person. Knowing who to contact is just as important as knowing how to troubleshoot. And so, even if you are trying to troubleshoot something and trying to figure out on your end and it's just not working, just knowing who to contact is the biggest thing. Contacting tech support and also contacting your instructor as soon as possible, because again, communication is the biggest thing. And then reaching out early shows responsibility, not weakness. If you genuinely do not understand a tech platform or something that you're using online, that's what we're here for. That's what your instructors are here for. We're not going to think any less of you for reaching out for help or having any questions. Because again, for a lot of people, this is their first time going back to school in a long time. So just keeping that in mind that it's okay. This just shows that you are willing and you want to show responsibility and you just have genuine questions, and we're not going to question you. And of course, keep in mind that you belong here and you're capable of succeeding online. You got this. Now this is technically a shorter session because it's mostly covering troubleshooting and resources. But if you're interested in other upcoming events, whether it's workshops like this or just like general fun events, like OSC is putting on some fun events upcoming, you can scan this QR code or you can just look at the UNT calendar. It's calendar.unt.edu. You're able to see both in-person and virtual events through the UNT calendar. And then, of course, stay in touch. If you don't follow us on any of our social media, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. The OC website is also a really good place to find general resources for online students in particular. You can find us at oc.unt.edu. We also have a podcast where we interview a variety of different people on campus and along with students, just getting their perspectives and their experiences at UNT. You can find this on YouTube and Spotify. And a little birdie told me that we are releasing episode 1 of season 4 next week. So be on the lookout for that. And then at the bottom of the screen, on the left side is a QR code to join our Canvas course. This is where we update a lot of our on-demand content, so different videos, modules, things like that. That's also where we keep track if you're a part of our Honor Cord program. So just by being here today, you guys earned 20 points towards your Honor Cord. And then if you have not already, register for Jumpstart. So Jumpstart, this is session 2 out of 4. We have one next Thursday and then the following Thursday. Um, I literally planned this whole thing, but I don't remember what the next session is. There we go. Session 3 is happening next Thursday. It's called Mindset Matters, Overcoming Self-Doubt. So this is going to talk about gaining confidence in your academic journey and basically how to tackle imposter syndrome while also maintaining a growth mindset. So it's very touchy-feely, definitely a little different compared to this session where it's like very tech and hard focused. But it's just nice to have that emotional and successful part of it as well. And then before we kind of curve it towards the end, does anyone have any particular questions, any tech questions they may have? Of course, I'm not a tech guru. I may not know every single answer, but I can at least guide you in the right direction of someone who may know the answer. Again, if you come up with something, you can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to the Tech Hub. But if you guys want to drop your emails in the chat, if you want to receive this presentation, it could be your personal one, it could be your student one. I can send you guys this afterwards just so you have this on file, have it handy. And then this presentation in particular, we're recording it, so it will be uploaded at a later time, probably through our Canvas and our YouTube channel. I cannot promise you that it will be in a timely manner because we're always busy here, but it will be here eventually, and of course, I'm always happy to help. All right. Yay! We did it.
Thanks, Dallas. It was good to see you.
It was great seeing you too. I'm glad you're able to make it to this session.
Yes. I've been substitute teaching a lot, and we don't get out of school until 4:30. So
4:30.